Yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of Burrito Talk. More specifically, episode number 2. I am your host. The one and only. The one and only. God, I'm trying to think of some fancy intro. I am Burrito, the number one CDL content creator, not only on YouTube, in the world. I believe there's no one doing in-game analysis like me. I believe I bring the best content to YouTube. That's why I'm your go-to guy for that. But I'm bringing you a speed run sort of episode, going over some topics, or going over some comments from the flank, and then we're gonna talk about 3-lane maps a little bit more in depth. If you saw the other video I released, then you'd know basically that, and I'm gonna go more into it. I'm gonna be like skipping to like certain parts in this flank thing, just commenting on some things. I'm not commenting on everything, but I'm commenting on some things. Probably not going to play all the parts, but I'm going to skip to the other parts. So for people only listening on audio, you're literally not going to miss much. So I'm going to play the first clip from the flank. It's honestly not anything, but you just have to hear him say it before I reply to it. So
played 25% of the time, then like if there's a clear discrepancy there, like we don't need to be playing that map.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like red
Love
card,
that.
right? Like red card, that's probably going to be the map coming out for Hacienda.
So, just for some quick context, Spinna Spence was talking about the process of elimination in maps. The new process is just maps that aren't picked as much, and then they're making arguments about it. So like the least picked maps would be the first ones to go, and then Zuma says red card would be the first one to go. And I'm very confused as to why red card would be the first one to go. I know the spawns aren't great, but if you compare red card to Protocol, Rewind, Skyline, and Vault, in terms of balance and just overall play, red card is technically better than Rewind, Skyline, Vault, and Protocol. If you really think about the way the maps are lined out, which we'll go into later, so if you're on audio, you're probably gonna miss out on just seeing how the map looks like. But I mean, if you played it, you already know it. I'll be describing it. Out of Protocol, red card, Rewind, Skyline, Vault, I don't think red card should be the first one to go. If anything, it should be Protocol. That map is the definition of a Warzone pub map. Very one-sided, very one-dimensional in terms of how you play it. And you're going to see later on in the year, if the map actually lasts that long, how one-dimensional the map really does play. There's not even 3 lanes. Most of the map is dictated by just sitting up in 2 spawn buildings. The control points are right beside each other. All hardpoint points are near each other. A and B, S and D. Like, it's not a good map for S and D either. Very one-sided because of the underground. I mean, I could go on. I mean, if you play the map, you know. Red card is the closest thing besides Rewind to a 3-lane map in this game. There are literally no 3-lane maps in this game. Red card, Rewind come the closest. If you look at the maps, Rewind does come the closest, but I'm going to show you later why it would not be and why red card would be the closest thing to a 3-lane map in the game. Somebody argued in the video that I also dropped at the same time as this that Lowtown would be the best 3-lane map, or the closest thing to a 3-lane map. And in a sense, they're right, because there's a left side where you go through P3. If you played the map, I'm literally calling out hardpoint spawns. If you go through P3, there's 1 lane, and then there's like the middle lane where you just go right through middle. And then I think it kind of deteriorates when you go through the right side. I'm talking about offense spawn, by the way, not defense spawn, because the right side has got the big broken building, then it's got a river, then it's got the lane. I mean, if there's a little bit less, it would actually be considered a 3-lane map. But the fact that Broken, which is like right at mid, controls basically everything, and you have the underground, kind of takes away from being a 3-lane map, in my opinion. But on paper, technically, he would be right. Lowtown would be the best or the closest thing to a 3-lane map. But I don't understand the hate red card gets. I know the spawns are fucked up, but if you fix the spawns and the one hardpoint point where it's underneath the stage, it's a good map. Like, it's the closest thing to a 3-lane map. The only thing, so I'm referencing the video again that I dropped before. If there's a lot of connectors from mid to the outside part of the map, that would probably be the only downside, is there's way too many cuts, but there's way more cuts on every other map, way more access. It's pretty easy to shut down those cuts. People arguing about the elevator. I don't think the elevator is that big a deal because it's literally in the back of spawn and really doesn't play that much into the map flow at all. It just takes you upstairs. You could hear it. You could watch for it. It's not in. If it was in the middle of the map, that'd make more sense. But it's literally tucked in the back of spawn. If you're in the middle of a hard point or S&D, the elevator is not playing a part into anything because you're way too focused on the hill. Even for control, if it was in for control, the elevator would. It's literally back of the map. It's not even useful at all. So I don't even understand the arguments there. I think protocol, red card, rewind, skyline vault. Protocol should be the first one to go. Red card should be a map people are keeping in. I do not understand why. I'm just trying to find the reason besides like the spawns, but like every map has horrible spawns. Every map has way worse spawns. Guys, if you look at red card as a map, just like the size of it instantly makes it better than every other map in this pool. And you also got to think, a topic I was going to go into later, but I guess I might as well bring it up now, is this game, Black Ops 6, does not have 3-lane maps. And to me, a 3-lane map, when a map is designed perfectly and it's a 3-lane map, it should be playable in every game mode. It should just be flawless. And I like to use Raid as the example, and I talked about in the other video. That's the last time I'll reference the other video. But Raid is the perfect map. Raid is the best competitive map of all time because it's good for every game mode. If you guys actually think about it, Raid, if you're new to the CDL, which a lot of my subscribers are, that just came in MW19, go back and just watch Raid. Watch Raid in every game mode. It plays for hardpoint, plays for S&D, it plays for control, and the map came out like over 5 years before Control came out in Black Ops 4, and it still plays perfect for Control, plays good for domination, plays good for capture the flag, can play good for probably fucking even demolition from MW2, can play good for headquarters, plays good for everything. It is the most balanced map I think we've ever seen. It plays good for every game mode. And none of these maps, that's the thing about these maps. I've seen the control points. It's another video that's going to drop this weekend. Skyline does not play good for control. The control points are in crazy spots. Vault is a nice looking map. The pros seem to like it, but doesn't play good for S&D or control. The control points, the spawns, it's just too small of a map. These maps are too small, and they're trying to take out the biggest map that has the best possibility of being the most balanced map, just because it's the closest thing to 3 lanes. It's a good size. It's not too big and it's not too small. These other maps are way too small, so you can't do anything with them. There's room on red card to just move a spawn point away from the stage and fix some spawn points, and it's a good map. I do not understand why they would keep protocol over red card. Like, that would just blow my mind. I have no idea what game these pros are playing compared to the game I'm playing. I know I'm not playing in pro scrims or whatever, but I know for a fact red card plays better than protocol. And I think the reason why everyone's on the train is because one person started on the train for red card being a bad map and everyone else hopped on the bandwagon. But I don't understand. If you guys actually look at the maps, red card is literally better than every other map. It really is. People people say, oh yeah, but Vault plays good for hardpoint. Does it really? It plays good for hardpoint like for a bit, but then like you get to P4 and you see P3, how it's literally just in the middle of nowhere or whatever. I guess people are used to that. P2 with the pool side, the whole pool side I think ruins the vault map entirely, to be honest, because you can't move an S&D point there. Like, they're trying to move the S&D points around, but it's like, where does it go? Even in control, I was thinking move the control point to the pool side, but then you look at the pool side, it's so unbalanced from like where defense spawn is and offense spawn is. So all these maps, Skyline, so I talked about it in shorts and everything. Some people call me a madman, but then I go and watch all these pros talk about how Skyline is, they literally say the exact same things I said. Like, Underground's like a compensation. It's like an extra lane you have to watch. It's not even a 3-lane map. Rewind is a close 3-lane map, but that outside part of the map where on Burger side is way too unbalanced and there's way too many spots to hit from it. It would be probably better if the outside Burger side had less lanes that could interrupt the flow on that side. If there's just like maybe 2 cuts that lead to the roadside, it'd probably make a lot more of a balanced map. Or if they just like didn't make it such an open street and just added some shit, but I guess they didn't want to. Yeah, but every map has their quirks. Every map except for Red Card. I could argue the soccer field side of Red Card inside, like I think that's P4. Is it P4? It's either P4 or P5. I'm pretty sure it's P4 or P5. That's like over like the bleacher side. You could argue that side kind of cuts off, but it's still like a better lane than any other of these maps. It's the closest thing to a 3-lane map, so that's all I'm gonna say on that. And then going into the next point where he talks about HQ.
Kind of at that.
Well,
stage.
what about another game? What about changing up the third game mode? Spence, has that been thought about? Like, has maybe running 3 hard points been thought about, or potentially headquarters, Spence?
Headquarters.
So I just want to give my quick thoughts on HQ. Anyone who's played HQ, it's hard to play it in pubs because I guess people like don't want to play it. Everyone's playing fucking Nuketown and Strike and everything, so it's way harder to get it. But they were talking about HQ. It could be like either like a 2-minute game or a 15-minute game. It can't be that fast a game because if you played HQ, after you capture an HQ, so just capturing an HQ could take forever, especially in like a 4v4 with pros. Could take a while, could not. All depends how the game goes. But after you cap the HQ, you hold it for until you get 60 points and then it switches. So depends how long you hold it for. So that could be another, I mean, it doesn't take more than 2 minutes. So it could probably be like another minute of just holding the hard point before it goes to the next one. And then you're fucking fighting for it back and forth. So just fighting for it and then defending it is like a minute to a minute and a half each. So guaranteed. And since you only get 60 points max and like the score limit's like 250, I mean, it's minimum like a 10-minute game. I'm not going to do the math right now in my head, but at the highest level play, and it could be kind of boring, but at the same time could be interesting. Maybe if they tweak like the times it takes to cap the HQ or the points, like there's so many things they could do, but I'd much rather, I'm telling you right now, I'd much rather watch HQ than Control. HQ probably has a way better chance. Like HQ on Red Card could work. HQ on Rewind, just that open street, I don't know, but it'd have a better chance. Skyline's too small, Vault's too small. A lot of these maps are too small. And I don't even know why. I talked about this before, but I don't know why they picked Protocol Control over Red Card Control. Red Card, if you look at it, you're going to see my video on Sunday, because I'm not trying to drop 3 videos on one day. Red Card is the only map, literally the only map in the game. The only map in the game. Let me emphasize this. The only map in the game. I didn't look at fucking Vorkuta because we're not playing that map anyway. The only map in the game where the fucking control points aren't fucking 5 meters away from each other. Every other map, Protocol, Rewind. Even on Rewind, I thought Rewind would have maybe something over by like the P5 side maybe. But no. It's like in P1 and in Burger. The points are right beside each other. Skyline, bro, Skyline's insane. It's like the pool and then fucking P2. Why? On Vault, it's P1 and it's P3 closer to the defense side spawn, and you could just spawn trap them right there, and everyone gets a close spawn to the control point. Makes no sense. Protocol, one's on P1, one's down by P4, but it's not underground, it's outside where like the fucking boat is. So every map, the control points are just so close to each other. Red Card is the only one that's normal. The only one that's normal, and it's the one map that the pro players are trying to take out, which leads me to I just have to say these pro players are fucking idiots. Like, I have to say it. Like, I'm trying not to, but it's like some of these decisions, we'll even talk about it later with like the GAs. Like, I don't know like what they're thinking, to be honest. Just like looking at it from a logical standpoint, like Red Card, it's not even fucking favoritism. Like, I'm actually just looking from a perspective, even from people watching. I guarantee people would get way tired faster watching Protocol for the 5th time on the day than watching Red Card. Red Card's it's the closest thing to a normal map. Not saying it's like a perfect map, a great map, but it's a good map. And it's the most normal map in the whole game. The most normal map in the whole game. But yeah, on the headquarters thing, I mean, I think Capture the Flag would play a lot better in this game. It would make maps like Vault look good. Like, Vault CTF would actually go hard. I feel like Vault CTF, like, not many game modes could play good in Vault, but I think Vault's like a good game type for Control, because it actually makes like the 3 lane sides in Control look a bit normal. So that's why, like, if you actually look at them at Vault, like running through P3 side, through P1 side, P3 side, and pool side, like, that would be good for Capture the Flag routes and spawns. Like, I think Vault would probably play the best for Control next to Red Card. And if it was Capture the Flag, I think Capture the Flag actually might be the game type. I'm not even gonna lie. After now thinking about it, it could be Red Card, Vault. You can even play Rewind for Cap the Flag. You got 3 viable maps that could actually play for Control, or I mean for Cap the Flag. Cap the Flag usually doesn't work for a lot of maps, and like I said, these maps are ass, but if you actually think about it, Cap the Flag could actually work for all these maps. If you really, like, I'm just thinking about it now, it actually worked very great. But the downside everyone's saying to Cap the Flag is there's stalemates sometimes. Maybe you could come up with some different rules about that to prevent stalemates, or instead of there being a stalemate, if it ends after like the 5-minute half, just goes into like sudden death and the winner just wins the whole entire game or some shit like that. I don't know, like anything like that. But I feel like now, actually thinking about it, Cap the Flag would actually play better. We'd have 3 good Cap the Flag maps. Red Card, Vault, Rewind could play good for Cap the Flag. And they don't play really good for the other game types, but they do play good for... I mean, Rewind does play good for Hardpoint, but that open street is like such a detriment. But I feel like Cap the Flag would be good for that. And now going into the next point,
work for Control as well. And I don't know, I just think the cons, or the pros outweigh the cons of going to 2 modes. But I mean, that's just me, and I think a lot of players would probably agree.
You would need to have a 6th hardpoint map, because
all right, so like obviously like, they went into like a longer conversation about this, but here's why I think doing just hardpoint and S&D is never a good idea. Not only did X bring up the point like there has to be a swing mode, but I think the 3rd game mode is what really creates the skill gap and the skill difference. And I remember back in a time in earlier CODs, like when S&D kids would switch the variant, it's like a completely different game. There's the S&D stars and there's the respawn stars. If it's just S&D and hardpoint, it makes it very one-dimensional. Hardpoint's not that hard of a game type to learn, to be honest. It may take a while for some people, but if it's just hardpoint and S&D, it makes it more one-dimensional. I mean, from a newbie standpoint, it would be better for them. Like, it would make it more inclusive for people to just learn hardpoint and S&D, be a lot more simple. But when I think about back in the day, like the S&D kids and the variant kids, like having to learn hardpoint and cap the flag, that's what creates like a skill difference. It creates different kinds of players having those two respawns as opposed to just one. When it's one, the skill difference isn't as high. The games aren't as interesting. I guarantee all of us will get tired. I mean, even during the Kason tourney, as much as Control is kind of a snooze, when it's hardpoint S&D, hardpoint S&D, that's just like way too many hardpoints, and we don't have enough maps for that. And it just gets really boring real quick. You'll see a lot of the same maps played over and over and over again, which is not fun. Having that third game type just creates like the extra skill diff that makes pro players. And S&D hardpoint would just be too one-dimensional. It's way too easy. Like S&D and hardpoint, I mean, Control's not hard to learn, but it's just the extra game mode. It's the extra game mode. It's the extra thing in your pocket, creates extra strategy, extra vetoes. That's what makes variant players. We used to call it MLG. We used to call it MLG variant back in the day, but now they don't use that term anymore. But yeah, that's literally how the variant kids used to be, like variant kids, because they'd be good at like 2 respawns, and the S&D, you know, like they may struggle in, but they were good at majority of the things, which is what made them pro players. So that's my take on that. And part of me wants to talk about like the DLC maps a bit. I'm not even gonna lie, because the DLC maps were such a disappointment. But before I get into that, there's one more thing from here, I believe, or 2 things I want to bring up from this. So when they were talking about the GAs for the SOG and the Krig, in my short time, I mean, not my short time, I mean, playing pubs on Nuketown, when I played pubs on Nuketown, everyone was using the fucking SOG. Everyone was using the SOG. And that shit was frying me. And I could understand because I saw Envoy's clip. Envoy in a clip said they tried it out in scrims, and on some maps it was frying, and other maps, you know, it was hit or miss. But I could understand why they would want to GA. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm going to get into that. But in my short time playing it on Nuketown, I was getting fucking fried. Like, they were evaporating me sometimes, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And I was using a fucking Jackal too. I was using the Jackal, and these kids were frying me with the SOG. I could understand from that POV if you're playing against like the best players in the world and it's like a close map and you're just getting fried with that shit, there's nothing you could do. I could understand the GA, but overall, I mean, I could understand everyone else's POV. Like, why are we fucking... Like, now we're down to basically 2 guns. Like, there's so many good SMGs in this game. I don't know why pros actually aren't using more. They should use, like, the C9 and shit. I was just using, like, the fucking Jackal. But, the game's just way more interesting. There's a lot more guns. And that also leads to snipers. And they brought up how people just don't like getting sniped. Like, Octane brought that up. I will never understand why. Why? I don't, like, pro players now are just sickening in that sense, where it's just like, oh, you know, like, I can't fucking do this, so yeah, let's get rid of it. Like, it's just like a newbie perspective to have. And especially now with the way they made snipers after MW19, where there's literally a flash when they aim down, like, their sights. Like, you literally see a flash from across the map. So you could literally see, like, hey, I'm over here, as opposed to back in the day, they could be fucking blended in, and then you're just, boom, you're gone. But now there's a big flash now. I don't understand. I mean, I would have, if snipers were in the game and they didn't GS up, there'd be so many options, strategy. It would be a lot interesting to watch. I hate it when it gets to the point, like, we've seen it, like, how many years now? Like, in Vanguard, it was like the fucking, I forgot what that shit's even called, like the AR, I literally forgot already. Oh, the Automaton MP40, MW2, like the SMG and the Scar, like, just very one-dimensional. In MW3, like the ACR and the fucking, I forgot what it's called, whatever, but you know, there's just like 2 guns. And it's so funny because in Vanguard, like the event where Spart just brought out that random flex gun, and this is how I knew pro players were fucking bitches. That random event where LAG surprised everyone in one, where Spart was just frying with that flex gun all tourney, and then right after he won, they fucking G8'd it. I'm like, bro, the gun's not even OP. The pros just like didn't know how to fucking handle it at that point in time, so they're like, yeah, it's got to be gone. So they just out fucking voted. But it's a flex gun. Like, we're supposed to have flex players on our team, but everyone's using like the main AR all the time. That's just the prime example right there. If you saw that and were not convinced that pro players were fucking bitches at that point, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, that event where Spart fried everyone with the flex gun, and they just, like, the gun was not even OP at all. It was literally just a normal gun. He just knew how to use it better than everybody else, and everyone just, like, there's nothing wrong with the automaton or the MP40. There's just a flex gun in between. And everyone was tweaking. I thought that was the reason why they won. I mean, they just need, like, just fucking be better. Like, snipers are fine. This is such a small game, too. Like, the only map where snipers really benefit is rewind, and it would create strategy to rewind. It would make people go P5 side, and maybe the sniper has to switch up his route, you know, shit like that. But I think you should keep the sniper in. And as for the SOG and the Krig, I mean, I haven't used the Krig yet. I'm not going to lie. I haven't used it yet. But the SOG, I can understand. But it just creates, like, another dynamic. It means, like, you pull out for certain hills, other hills you don't. I mean, it's not, like, good at all ranges. It's not good. It's just very good close range. Like, the map I played it just so happened to be fucking Nuketown, which is close range fucking central. So that's why it was so good. I guarantee if I played a team on... play these guys on fucking rewind with it, I'd be fucking pissing on them. So bros need to not complain about that. And something I did want to bring up about challengers is not necessarily challengers itself, but they did talk about lands and everything. Parasite made the point about it might be a better idea just to have everything online except for the final one. They don't have to have a LAN. I mean, just the way with the logistics, they don't have to have a LAN every event, but even if it's just at champs and maybe like the optic major, like 2 or 3 of those, I mean 3 may be pushing it, but champs and maybe like the optic major, because maybe they don't want to do anything at Fort Lauderdale, major 4, don't know where that would be. I'm not an insider. They're talking about Chicago, but if they do the optic LAN in Toronto, 2 LANs, I mean, I don't know insider stuff, but even just 2 and everything else on LAN, or I mean online, but they talked about the hackers and everything. I don't know anything about any of that shit. I have no expertise on that stuff, but they need to do something for that. But I mean, I was a fan before, to be honest, of every team having an academy team, like not even a team that you have to like pay or have on salary, but like have a feeder system underneath like your team. I was a fan of that when like they brought that in. I think that was like when the league like first came in, or maybe it was like a year after, where everybody had to have like an academy team or like academy players. What point in time was that? I actually forgot what point in time that was, but last thing I'll say about challengers is Huke. Huke, this is just random, but Huke is fucking frying right now. Like in 8s, if you watch him in 8s, like top of the scoreboard every game, he's doing insane things on the map. This almost feels like AW, because like we're just in a game with movement where like your movement and skill could actually vastly just overpower everything else, because these maps and the way this game is doesn't take much actual thought in it. You just need to not scam. And Huke has great movement, great gunny. I think this game fits him great, and he's sticking out like a sore thumb. I don't know why he's not in the league. I've talked very down on him, but I knew in Black Ops 6 when a person asked me in MW3, probably on the video I made of him in MW3, if he's going to be good at Black Ops 6, I was like, with Omni movement, after I saw Omni, I'm like, this guy's definitely going to be fucking great at it, but it's just a matter of the other side, the bad play side. But right now, it looks like he's doing very well. I could see him dominating like the first Challengers Cup. Maybe not dominating, but winning. Honestly, I could see his team winning the first Challenger Cup. I feel he's definitely going to be the first person into the league 100%. Whoever does bad first major, I'm not sure if he'd want to go to Rocker. I would like to see him on like a higher team again and see what he's able to do. He's definitely not getting on like a top 3 team, but like a Gentlemates, if he takes Linz's spot, that sounds crazy. If he takes Linz's spot or like Kremp's spot, but I don't want Kremp or Mac, because I want Kremp and Mac to develop honestly in the league, so I don't really want to see him go. And I'm very high on Joe Deceives. I don't think Joe Deceives should be touched at all. Kleenex. Haven't seen much from Ultra lately. Like, they've been hiding. But at Carolina, like, he could easily get on there, to be honest. That would be a good team for him. I don't really want to see him on Rocker, like Paul X, whatever. That's just like another Challengers team on Boston. Don't want to see him on there. But Gentlemates, maybe Cloud9 fucking like finesse some shit, even though I don't want that shit to change. Ultra not getting on that, I would say I don't want that team to change. But there's got to be some room in there for him somewhere. Like, he's very good, and everyone knows how good he is. It's just the other side of the game where he scams a lot, and he scammed a lot in MW3. But just from looking at it, it's probably just the way the maps are. Like, the maps are so bad, it makes anyone look fucking good if like they're actually fucking good at the game. But as of right now, he just does not look bad at all. Like, he looks like literally fucking like a top player in the game. Like, he looks better than like almost like 90%, if not 95% of the SMGs in the game. He looks fuck better than all of them. The only people I'd rate higher than him at the moment are obviously like Hydra. I'd even rate Envoy right now. I think Envoy's playing pretty good, and maybe not at the LAN, so maybe you might go ahead of him. Haven't seen much from Ultra lately, so I mean, I can't really comment on them. But Hydra, Abiza Simp, I mean, besides that, I'm like, like, he's frying. And Shotzi and Pred. So basically, everyone like the fuck top 3 teams. But outside of that, I don't see who's better than him right now. And I saw a clip of Method saying to Zuma that a team should just fucking pick him up right now. Like, any team not doing good in scrims right now should just drop whoever and fuck pick him up before someone else snatches him, like maybe after the major. And I saw Zuma disagree with that, and I was kind of like agreeing with Methods, but it is fucking kind of cold. Like, before the season even starts, like, everyone fucking signed their contract, and then you just drop them because you think the player's better. But that's just fucking business, baby, at the end of the day. I kind of agreed with it, to be honest, but it is kind of cold. But maybe wait till after Major 1, probably what most teams are going to do anyway. So before we go, because I wanted this to be a quick episode, I just wanted to talk about stuff quick. Very busy week, very tiring week. Just wanted to go over these fucking DLC maps. I just want to like complain a bit, just complain a bit more. Man, not talking about Hacienda, but these other ones. Just, I have no idea the brain rot that goes into making these maps, or who's actually making them, what the process is. It seems to be like the process is to make these like for pub players, to be honest. And it shows big. Like, these maps are literally, Extraction might honestly be the worst fucking DLC map I've ever seen in my life. If you play this map, you're going to see it on my members only. If not, you can just, like, obviously go onto YouTube. Bro, this map is not only so small, but it's so unbalanced. You have a big lighthouse that oversees the whole map. If you play this map for hardpoint, there's a hardpoint inside the helicopter in the middle of the map. There's a hardpoint over by this fucking burning helicopter. Just a wide open part of the map, and then some inside like fucking corridor area. Like, this map looks way bigger than what, like, the map's fucking showing. Like, this map makes it look like a way bigger map, but this map is so small. I was hoping we get some promise in here. They just wanted more pub maps, and the spawns are horrible, as you can imagine, in a 6v6 when people are trying to flip. I don't know why. Like, there's 4 hardpoint zones. You can even see there's one at the helicopter. P2's like inside the hangar, which I don't mind that one. That one seems to be pretty balanced, but at the same time, not really. P3's in a faded fucking location on that burning helicopter. And then 4's in a pretty nice spot. I kind of like 4, but yeah, the map is just like, they just make these small maps. Every map is just small. I thought we were going to get some large size maps. Shame on me for thinking of that. Shame on me for thinking we get a large map, like, or just a medium sized map, like just something that's not so small, and then hideout. Jeez, hideout. Like, just looking at this, I was like, oh shit, this looks good, because I like maps that have like a lot of objects, obstacles, you know, things like that, like some indoor areas. But it's so small, bro. You could literally get to the other side in 5 fucking seconds. Middle's barely a middle, not even a 3-lane map, because one lane cuts off so early. You can even see on the fucking thing. Yeah, these maps just look way big on this map. Maybe because I'm seeing a large map, but there's like no lanes. Like, you can even see on the defense side spawn, it literally fucking cuts off. On this side, it literally cuts off, and even the middle. The middle's the only thing that's like a lane, because you could actually go up top and go through. But maps had promise, but they're just way too small. Like, these maps, like, from an idea and how they look standpoint, except for extraction, I think there's no hope from that from the very beginning. Like, actually no hope at all. But the other maps had promise, but did not turn out that well. And I have not seen Heirloom. I haven't even played it, but as you can tell, just another small map. I don't know. Like, why, when we already have so many small maps, do we need more small maps? I will never understand. And this goes into the topic. Now I want to go over it quick, because I literally said it's going to be quick podcast, and we're going over. I think it's guaranteed at this point I'll be able to go over half an hour every fucking map. Or, I mean, every map. Jeez, every single podcast. But you can just look at some of these maps. I'll just skim through them. I'm not going to do this long, to be honest. I mean, obviously we went through Verkuda. You literally saw it in the video. I want to go through like a map like Vault. Like, Vault would play good for ETF, because you could see like boom, boom, boom. But for every other game mode, it's just like not really. It is a 3-lane map, but this side is so imbalanced. Like, this side needs more. But it is like a 3-lane map if you actually look at it. But it's way too small. Way too small. How does a map like this, and like a map like Firing Range, which was actually considered on the small side of maps in the game, but that map felt like it had like a lot to it. But this map doesn't feel like it has a lot to it. Or maybe it's just like the way they position things on the map. Because I think they're probably like the exact same size. Like, I think Fire Range and Volt are almost the same size, but one just way better. They just like honestly made it way better. And I mean, I've fucking been over Skyline. I'm not really gonna go over this one too much, but yeah, I'm not even gonna go over the maps, to be honest. But I want to go over Red Card real quick. I want to go over Red Card because the map I fucking vouch for all the time. As you can see, so you have the whole mid. So I think this is P2 side. Yeah, this is P2 side. You have this whole outside part, and that's a lane. You have the inside part, which is right through the middle lane. And then you have the outside part, which actually connects to the outside. It's the closest thing to a 3-lane map. And the control points are actually like across from each other. This one I could argue is too close to like the defense spawn. Maybe they could have pushed it up, but it is still not bad. Plays good for every game type. Plays better than most. I think Red Card is like the map, honestly, but I don't know why pros don't feel the same way. But yeah, I do feel like this map actually is like pretty fucking good, not gonna lie. But yeah, but that's all I want to talk about. I just want to do like a quick one, honestly. I didn't want to go in depth in this one. I have all of next week off from work so I could actually do a longer podcast. Guys, just don't forget, this podcast is also on Apple Music and Spotify. Just type in Borito Talk, Borito Talk. If you like these shorter episodes, this one was kind of short, but at the same time kind of long. I don't know. But yeah, that wraps it up for me. Just wanted to do something quick. I like talking. I like making sure I have something up for Fridays. I think Friday's like a good day for... Friday's a nice day for podcasts. I like doing Fridays and Mondays because you start off your work week, your school week, whatever, and then some at the end, right before the weekend. But let me play this clip actually real quick because I just watched like 3 minutes of Havoc playing with he's playing with like a BZ, Drazen, Simpin ranked right now, and I just tuned in for like 3 minutes right before I recorded this. But just take a look at like the back spawn. If you're on audio only, I'm sorry. I mean, if you have been on Spotify, you'll be able to see the video. But this is basically just Havoc. Like, look how the spawns are. You could just spawn trap. Like, you can't tell me this map's fucking good for control. We got no good options for control. Like, no matter how far you push up, it's not going to spawn on, like, far poolside unless your whole team is, like, in their back spawn. But no team would actually fucking go that far. But if you're pushed up here, it just spawns them on the back house side there. It just spawn trap fucking central. And like Chris even talked about, he just spawned right there. And the reason why he spawned right there is because they're so far pushed up that there's like I swear if I could see this like in the mini map, I'd be able to tell. But they're so pushed up their side spawn that they have no presence pushed up. So when they're so far back, it spawns the other team way close to the offensive objective. This map's just not good. And you could get to control points on this map in like 2 fucking seconds. So that's not good. But yeah, enough of me rambling. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And I'll be back for more better, just better shit. But just want to make sure I had some up for you guys. But this has been Burrito. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time.